Hello everyone, today I want to show you something that I believe is much more important than learning another AI tool. Because right now most designers, architects and even businesses are asking the wrong question. They ask, what is the best AI tool? Should I use ChatGPT or Claude? Is Gemini better for images? Should I use Hexfield, Midjourney, Magnific or something else? But the real question is not which AI tool should I use. The real question is at what level are you using AI? Because there is a huge difference between simply using AI tools and building an AI system around your entire workflow. And today I want to explain the three levels that I see in an AI adoption. We will start with the most basic level, what I call chaotic way of using AI. This is the chaotic AI usage. Then we'll move to multi-tool and multi-platform workflow. And finally, we will reach the most powerful level, Agentic AI System. And I will explain you why I believe this third level is where professional design works are heading. Level 1, chaotic AI usage. This is where almost everybody starts. You discover ChatGPT, you ask questions, and then you discover Gemini, then Claude, then Midjourney, and another image generator, and another video generator, and suddenly you have 20 different AI tools open in 20 different browsers. You use one tool for the text, another for image, another for research, third one for the video, another one for upscaling, and every time you start a new project, you basically start again from zero. You open ChatGPT and explain the project. Then you open Gemini and explain the project again. Then open another platform and explain the same style. Then a week later, you cannot remember which conversation contained the final decision. This is what I call AI tool hopping. And there is nothing wrong with starting this way. This is how we learn what the tools can do actually, but the problem is that many people stay at the level permanently. They become very good at using individual AI tools, but they never create a system. Every prompt is written again. Every project starts with the context. Every decision is scattering across different conversations. There is no shared memory. There is no structured workflow. There is no defined approval points. And there is no connection between one stage of the project and the next. So yes, AI makes the individual's task faster, but the overall project can still remain chaotic. This is an important distinction. The optimization is not the same as workflow optimization. You can make one task then 10 times faster and still have the bad process. Level 2, multi-tool AI workflows. The second level is much more advanced. This stage, you understand that different AI tools are good at different things. So instead of expecting one tool to do everything, you start combining specialized platforms. And in this level, there is where the tools such as Hexfield, Magnific, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and many others become extremely powerful. For example, you might use ChatGPT or Claude for develop an idea, Gemini for generating and edit visuals concept, Hexfield to animate those visuals or create cinematic video, Magnific to enhance, upscale or add detail to the final imagery. Now, we are no longer using AI tool, we are building a tool chain. And this is already a major improvement, completely different story than compared to the stage 1. Let me show you how this can work inside of interior and or architectural project. Phase 1, the brief. Every project starts with information. The client has needs, problems, references, a budget, timeline, a site, lifestyle, and usually this information does not arrive as a perfectly organized document. It arrives through conversation, dialogue, emails, meetings, voice messages, images, plans, reference. This is where tools such as Phantom, for example, can become extremely useful. Phantom can listen to an transcribe your meeting with the client instead of trying to remember everything that was said. You now have a structured record of your conversation with the client. That transcript can then be passed to the ChatGPT, Claude or Gemini, and the next AI can analyze the conversation. It can extract the client requirements, the functional needs, the budget, the timeline, the aesthetic reference, the technical constraints, the unresolved question, and even contradiction is in what the client said. From that information, AI can help us prepare structured design brief. Already, this is much stronger than simply writing, create me an interior design brief, because the AI is now working from real project information. Phase 2, creating the concept. Once the brief is approved, we moved into the concept development stage. Now ChatGPT, Claude or Gemini can take the approved brief and help transform it into the design direction. We can develop the concept story, design principle, the atmosphere, the material language, the color palette, lighting philosophy, furniture language, and what I like to call the design DNA of the project. This is very important because the design DNA becomes a set of rules. Instead of saying, make me a beautiful modern interior, we can define exactly what this project should feel like, and equally important, what it should never become. For architecture, the same concept can include massing principles, facade language, relationships to the site, orientation, openings, landscape relationships, and special character. Now the AI is no longer simply generating ideas. It is helping us to establish a design system for the project. Phase 3, the idea and visual development. Now we move toward from words to principles into the spatial and visual development. We can use ChatGPT, Claude or Gemini to help developing zoning strategies, layout logic, room relationships, lighting zones, furniture requirements, and design options. Then we move into the visual AI. This is where tools such as Gemini, ChatGPT, image generation, and other image generation platforms become extremely useful. We can take an existing plan, sketch, model, or proof reference and generate design direction. But there is one critical difference between random image generation and professional design development. We must control what is allowed to change. The AI needs to know, preserve this geometry, preserve this camera, preserve 3 openings, this layout, approve material language, and do not invent architectural elements that have not been approved. Once we have this image, we can move the tool like Magnific for enhancement of detail, then to Highfield for motion, camera movement, cinematic presentation, or video sequences. So we are starting to build a much more sophisticated pipeline. Concept, image, enhancements, animation, presentation. This is what I call the multi-tool level, and it is already extremely powerful. But there is still one major problem. You are still the person connecting everyone and everything manually. You're still copying information between different tools. You're still deciding what happens next. You're still reminding every AI tool happening in the previous phase. And this brings us to the 3rd level. So, level 3, Agentic AI Systems. This is where everything's changed. Instead of having a person manually operating different AI tools, we create specialized AI agents for the different stages of the project. Imagine that your interior architectural project has 5 main agents. Agent number 1, the brief agent. Agent number 2, the concept agent. Agent number 3, the idea and design development agent. Agent number 4, the working documentation agent. Agent number 5, specification and procurement agent. Each agent has its own skills, its own responsibilities, its own rules, its own inputs, and its own outputs. But most importantly, they are connected. The concept agent does not start from zero. It receives the approved output from the brief agent. The idea agent receives the approved concept, the design DNA. The working documentation agents receive the approved layouts, visuals, materials, and decision. And the specification agents receive structured information from the working documentation phase. So the project moves forward like connected chain. Brief becomes concept, concept becomes design development becomes working documentation becomes specification and procurement. The agents also know which tool to use, and this is where the system becomes much more powerful. The user does not necessarily need to decide every time should I use Gemini now or Claude or Higgsfield. The agent can understand the task, the role of in the right tool. The brief agent might know. For meeting capture, I'm going to use Phantom. For transcripting and analysis, the Claude, the ChatGPT or Gemini. For generating structural brief, use the language model with the project context. The concept agent might use one model for research and reasoning, another workflow for reference creation, and an image model for mood board exportation. The idea agent can use AI image generation for visuals, Magnific for enhancement, Higgsfield for animation. While maintaining the same approved design DNA, the working documentation agent can use AI for prepared drawings, registers, technical checklists, coordination reviews, detailed requirements, RFIs, and revision control. The actual professional documentation may still be produced in a tool such as AutoCAD, Revit, Archicad, or other CAD or BIM software. AI does not replace professional responsibility, it organizes and accelerates the process around it. And finally, the specification agent can prepare schedules, material schedules, lighting schedules, sanitary schedules, custom furniture lease, and so on. Supplier requirements packages, for example, procurement trackers. Now we are no longer using AI simply to create outputs. We are using AI to manage the development of the project itself. Why is this more efficient? Because context stops disappearing. The second agent knows that the first agent decides. The third agent knows what the first two has approved. The fourth agent does not need to reinterpret the beautiful rendering from scratch. It receives structured design intent. And the fifth agent does not need to manually reconstruct every product and material decision. The information already exists in the project system. This creates something extremely important: project memory. Every approved decision can be stopped. Every revision can be locked. Every successful prompt can become a reusable skill. Every problem can improve the checklist. Every completed project can improve the next project. And I want to make one important clarification here. The underlying AI model does not magically retrain itself after every project. What improves is the system around the AI. Your project memory becomes richer, your skill become better, your prompts become more precise, your templates improve, your validation rules improve, your agents receive better context. Because of that, the entire AI system becomes more capable over time. This is much more powerful idea than simply asking AI a better question. From tools to an AI operating system. These are the two different topics. So if we step back, there are really three levels. Level 1, chaotic AI usage, I already mentioned, many tools, random prompts, disconnect conversation, starting from zero again and again. Level 2, multi-tool workflows. You understand which tool is best for which task. You connect ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Higgsfield, Magnific, and other specialized platforms into a production pipeline. And the level 3, the Agentic AI System. The tools become part of the larger architectural structure. Specialized agents manage different stages. They share projects manager. They preserve approved decision. They know what comes next. And they can select the appropriate tools for the job. This is the real transition I think professionals need to understand. The future is not about knowing more AI tools, because the tool will keep changing. 6 months from now, we will probably be using tools that even not exist today, but the system remains. The project stages remains. The logic remains. The approvals remains. Information flow remains. And that is why I keep coming back in one principle. Tools change, systems endure. So stop using AI like a toy. Stop collecting random prompts. Stop rebuilding your workflow from zero every time. Start thinking about your project as an AI operating system, where information becomes knowledge, knowledge becomes decision, decision becomes design. Documentation becomes in specialization, and every completed projects make the seamstress stronger. That for me is the next level of AI in architecture and interior design. And in the next video, I'm going to break down these engines one by one, starting with the brief engine. But for now, that's it. If you want to stay subscribed, press the button and keep watching the next videos.